All right, welcome to This and That Podcasting Podcast. I'm Alex Bauer here with my best friend Kyle Dobis. We coming back at you with episode 11. Today is Wednesday, February 12th, and we're going to talk a little bit about our, top five, actual top five, like we normally do. Get an honorable mention. We've brought in a upset of the week for our week in review. For our entertainment, we're going to talk a little bit about some Super Bowl commercials, going to give them some ratings. Then we go back into talking about the upcoming week. A lot to talk about, especially with hockey taking a break and doing a tournament. And we'll dive into that a little bit. And then get into some fantasy focus and talk about some tight ends and bring it on in with some gambling men, the most hype part of our podcast, and then bring it on home with, I guess some bad news, good news. I don't know how to take it, but
maybe
we'll see. We'll see how that.
Probably good news. Probably good news.
Yeah, I would say it would be good news, just the way things are. All right, week in review, top five pick games. I did 3 out of 5 with my pick games. Post review, hindsight is always 2020, as they say. The 3 that I felt like I got right was Texas A&M and Missouri. Got down to the wire, 67-64. I chose Missouri to win this game because they were at home, but Texas A&M pulls off a win. It was quite the game to watch, honestly. I was watching it alongside the game that I was working, which was the Florida-Auburn game that I worked, and it was a great game. I picked this to be in that, 3 out of 5 as well. Florida beating Auburn 90-81, surprisingly. And I was not expecting that win from Florida, but they seemed to dominate the whole game. They didn't really let Auburn back into it much. Like, it got back down to maybe a 2-point game, 1-point game, and then Florida just ran away within the second half. And yeah, it was.
Yeah, I didn't see that one coming either.
We both definitely want to experience
strong Auburn picks.
Yeah. And so I wasn't expecting that, especially how hurt Florida is. Like, I mean, they've got some of their bigs hurt and sitting, and they've been, I guess, getting some guys off the bench and being able to shoot some points and get them in the net.
Yeah, but they got their shooter back, so that's what kind of carried them there.
Yeah. And then the 3rd out of the 5 I got correct is the Rangers-Bruins game, coming down to a 3-2 game with the Rangers winning, and I picked right on that one, picking the Rangers to win.
Yeah, that one's also on my list. It's on the list.
On the list. And then the 2 that I missed, I picked Arizona to beat Texas Tech. That happens, but Arizona wins 82-73. It's within a 10-point margin, but I feel like these other games that are in the actual top 5 deserve to be there, even though people are going to come at me and they're going to say they're a homer if they look at this list before I even say it. And then obviously the 5th one that I completely missed, and I believe all of America missed this one, but who knows?
Yep.
Philadelphia wiping
Blowout.
the floor with some Kansas City Chiefs, 44-22.
Yeah, blowout.
Good night. I mean,
refs can't help you win a game when you just blow a team out.
Yeah, I kind of tuned out as soon as Philadelphia got the ball back and they scored after that second interception. That was kind of crazy. I was like, oh, okay, now this one's definitely done.
This one might be over now already. What am I supposed to do for the rest of the night?
So,
yeah, it's not too bad. Yeah, I also went 3 for 5. We both had the Florida-Auburn game, so crazy game. We both picked Auburn. Florida just upset both of us. Didn't see it happen since they were on the road. Big win. 9-point game, but it was still a close game for most of the game, so it deserves to be a top game. I also had the Rangers and Bruins, and I picked the Rangers on that one. It was a really good hockey game. Finished 3-2, so stayed close the whole time, and I figured that kind of game would be since they're both battling in positions of their standings. Fun game. And then my other one I picked correct was the Oregon-Michigan basketball game. Homer, But I actually picked Oregon to win that game. I
Hey,
thought Michigan wasn't going to do it, so
don't
it was
worry.
a big win for them.
It's not much different than what I'm seeing as actual top five. Because the thing is
Yeah.
like I have that in my honorable mention, and I've got the other two games that Michigan played in the actual top five, just being Michigan beating Indiana in Indiana 70-67. That's definitely a good close game. That was kind of a outcome that you weren't really expecting for Michigan to go into Indiana and win like that. And then Michigan beating Purdue last night at home.
Yep.
I,
I was going to
I
add that
believe,
on there, but I was like, I already had my list, so I might as well just keep it as is.
I mean, put that in your honorable mention because, like, I just have those as my like. If I had a top six, I would put all three of those games in the top six, if you will, being the last three games. But yeah, I've got Michigan, Indiana, and Michigan, Purdue in that top five, actual top five, and then I'm honorably mentioning Michigan beating Oregon earlier in the week.
Yeah,
On a Tuesday. So or
every
on a
single one of
Wednesday.
Michigan's basketball games were extremely
Yeah,
close this week. So
yeah.
it was kind of like a heart attack every game. So those were my three I got right. The other two, obviously, the Chiefs Eagles was not a top game. It was a terrible game
Yeah.
for close wise. And then the other one I had was Tampa and Detroit in hockey. I thought it would have been a close game, and I picked the right winner. I said Tampa was going to win, but it just kind of a blowout. I figured that was going to be their loss going into this break since they were on that 7-game win streak.
4-2 after the first period.
Yeah, it was.
That's
How-
that's
yeah,
insane for a hockey game.
I mean, Detroit kept making it close. They kept getting right there, but then just as soon as Detroit would score and get closer, then Tampa would score again. It's like, well, this is just not going to happen today. Kind of figured at some point they were going to lose, and I figured Tampa was going to have their number this time. The other two games that I chose as like actual top games, I had the Missouri-Tennessee basketball game. That was a close game, 85-81 Tennessee. Missouri stayed in there, but it was definitely a top game. And then I also picked the Ohio State-Maryland as a top game in basketball because it was Maryland was I think ranked 19 at the time going into Ohio State. I picked Ohio State to win that game, but yeah, it was 73-70. It was a close game. But my honorable mention I had originally was the Utah Hockey Club beating Columbus Blue Jackets 3-2 in overtime. Two close games that were close game that was both teams are relevant for a playoff race, so it deserved to be in there for an honorable mention. But now after last night's games, it kind of just there was too many games last night you could have chose from, especially upsets. But yeah, I'd put the Michigan game up there. You could put the Indiana Michigan State game up there. There were just a lot of upsets last night. It was kind of crazy.
yeah, it was definitely a crazy night last night. That's for sure. Working some basketball.
Kentucky beating Tennessee.
Oh yeah, but I've got to give the upset of the week to Clemson Duke. Clemson beating Duke 77-71.
Yep, that was
Clemson
mine.
being an unranked, being a number 2 ranked team. Duke needed to win this game, especially it happened. The tip off was after Florida beat Auburn, and that door was wide open for Duke to take the number 1 team and take their spot at the top of the hill. But unfortunately, they fall to Clemson and. Now it's still Auburn at 1 and Alabama at 2, and then Florida at 3.
And they play this weekend, and then they play this weekend, so it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
Now so I had that one as my upset also, but then I also had Kansas State once again back-to-back weeks, and I could just throw them in for the third week and count last night's game also. So Kansas State upsetting Kansas 80-73, and then last night Kansas State beat Arizona 73-70, and Arizona's 13th ranked.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't understand Kansas State. They were like 10 and 11, and then they just start upsetting all these top 10 teams. It's kind of crazy.
I mean, they're just popping off in their own conference. It's usually what happens when some team from somewhere you don't know just decides to show up, and that's how conference play sometimes happens.
Yeah, and that was basically what my gut reaction was like this was just another crazy week in college basketball. A ton of upsets, especially last night was a ton of upsets. Like going into the week before last night, it was like there's like a couple, 2 or 3 from the past week, but then last night you had like 3 or 4 alone that were upset. So it was a wild night for a Tuesday night.
Yeah. And honestly, that's the way that I was kind of feeling how Missouri was going to be for the SEC, like just one of those teams that you weren't expecting to show up. And honestly, I was wrong with them upsetting Tennessee. Tennessee wins 85-81, but Missouri's got a good record
They do have a
going
good team.
towards them, and I feel like they're going to be a good SEC team going into the championship, or at least the tournament for the SEC and then the NCAA.
Yeah. Yep.
But anyway, anywho, got some gut reactions. My gut reaction is, wow, Eagles shocked the world. Like literally
Yeah.
shocked the world. Like, oh whoa.
I mean, they shot me
And
at the same time. At the same time, it was my prediction was it's either going to be a close game and the Chiefs win, or it's going to be Eagles winning by double digits. I thought that was what I said to start. I was like, Eagles aren't winning the close game. Chiefs will win the close game because it's going to come down to the last second with Mahomes with the ball, and it's just same crap every time.
Yep.
But yeah, and then if Eagles win, it's just going to be a double-digit game. I didn't see them winning by double digits this way, where it was like, oh, you look at the score, it was like 40-22. Saquon must have went off, and Saquon didn't do anything. It was
Nope.
kind of crazy.
He didn't do a dang thing, unfortunately.
Nothing.
Nope.
Yeah.
He just had to take the easy ride in to get the Lombardi trophy.
Had my correct pick. I did say out of the receivers, Devonta Smith should have the best game out of them. So I did at least hit that one.
There you go. And then my other gut reaction is, well, it's time to focus on some NHL hockey.
Yeah.
I can't wait. It's gonna be all NHL from here on out, Kyle.
Yeah, it's basically NHL and college basketball. It's going to be really hard to pick these same game parlays and player props. This is kind of ridiculous. I don't know how to do these since they don't pop up but the day of.
Wait till later, buddy. Wait till
I pretty much have to just guesstimate. I'm like, all right, so I'm going to say he's going to get this many rebounds when it actually comes out with the line. Do this.
yeah.
I was trying to make one today, and
Can't.
literally the game was like at 7:00, and they had no player props ready for me to bet on any of these games that I wanted to bet on. I was like, well, cool. I guess I'll just make my own up in my head.
Just try and do the algorithmic math for everybody that listens to us. Unfortunately.
Yeah, if it's there, take it. If not, good. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm just predicting the
don't know
weather
if
here.
you-
Don't fire me.
Get better gambling sites.
All right. We get to go into some entertainment, some Super Bowl commercials coming your way, guys. We did a little special on rating the Super Bowl commercials that aired during the Super Bowl, of course, because I was just telling everybody at the Super Bowl party that I went to, I'm just here for the commercials. I'm not here for the game itself. And look, everybody else just had to turn into we're just here for the commercials now. Like, just the way the game turned out itself.
Yeah, and honestly, I was thoroughly disappointed with the commercials. They were terrible.
Well, I would say that not all of them were great, but I've got a top 5 that I put a list together. I've got my best and my worst.
Where were my Dorito commercials? Where were all the good Bud Light commercials?
I know.
Where were they?
I know. Like,
Instead, they were just all depressing commercials. They're like, "Oh, you're dying. Let's get better." Like, "Oh, what is this?"
What is this? What is this?
I'm already watching a depressing football game. Why do I need to watch a depressing commercial now?
Yeah. Well, I'm giving the best commercial to Instacart. They get the award for best commercial. Yes, everybody. They get it because they probably put the best commercial together that I would have loved to see it any other day. So the commercial starts out, you've got somebody delivering Papa John's, and then it's the Old Spice guy standing on the porch, and then like all these other things like from other commercials just start coming in, and you're just like, all right, whose commercial is this? And it's so like revealing that, like, yeah, Instacart, you're buying all these other products, with Instacart. And guess what? Instacart
Yeah.
doesn't have to take the whole $800 for 30 seconds now. Guess what? Our $300 is
Everybody
now,
else does.
Yeah, like everybody else is kicking into our 30-second commercial now. Like, hey, Chick-fil-A, you want to jump in on this commercial with us? It's gonna be pretty easy. We're gonna have your cow driving a moped around, and then hey, Red Spice, we're just gonna have your guy just kind of standing on a front porch for us. How's that sound? And it's just like it's brilliancy to me. Like it's just the artistry. And
it was definitely smart.
Yes, so that's my best commercial that I've got to give that award to. All right, so coming in at second behind that, it goes to Bosch. I like how they put their commercial together, how to get something fixed. It's it's John Cena coming in, and then all you see is just the Bosch thing just drilling. and
Yeah, I did like that. Yeah.
And John Cena's no longer there. Because
Yeah, that was. Can't see him.
You can't see him. And then I like the Michelob Ultra where you got William Dafoe and then Catherine. I think it's
that was a good one. I did like that one. Yeah, I did like that one.
Where they're challenging everybody to pickleball and they're winning all this Michelob Ultra, and now they have this big cellar of Michelob Ultra just all around them. All right.
Yeah, that was.
So yeah, that comes in at third. Coming in at fourth, I've got the Jeep commercial with Harrison Ford. That was very humbling commercial. I really like how well it was scripted and how well he was able to just kind of bring you home and like made you feel how Jeep makes people feel. Like you're supposed to be a little bit rugged, a little at home, driving a Jeep around. And I think that was a really good commercial as a whole. And then coming in at number 5, I've got the Ram commercial with what's his name? Left my brain too.
The Ram guy.
It's not the Ram guy. Oh goodness gracious.
It wasn't another depressing commercial, was it?
No, it was not. It was actually a really good one. It was with Glenn Powell, that's it. So it was a commercial with Glenn Powell, and he's fighting off dragons and it was a fantasy kind of commercial. Like he's like in this fantasy land, just driving a ram around and like just defeating all these like different characters and all this stuff. And it was pretty good put together. It's like an entertainment type of commercial that you would expect during the Super Bowl. To me, like that to me spoke to being like more of like what you would expect from Doritos or from Bud Light, but it was Ram that brought that bag home. And then the worst commercial goes to
drum roll.
Coffee Mate.
Bing bang.
That was the worst. What are y'all doing? Like you got make me think that I'm doing LSD while drinking Coffee Mate now. Like I'm gonna have Coffee Mate Cool Whip, and then all of a sudden and now I'm on LSD, and like my tongue's like coming out of my mouth and just dancing around everywhere, just doing like crazy stuff. Like what?
It was a wild one.
Whose idea
was this?
Whose idea was this?
Whose idea was this?
Like what?
Let's run with it.
What is going on here?
Yeah, let's just run with it, sir. Send it.
All right, Mats, who put the LSD in the fucking punch?
Yeah, what? We're only spending like thousands of dollars for these commercials. Let's go ahead and send it.
Let's just go ahead and send it and make them think they're actually doing LSD.
Does it make sense? No, not really. It doesn't make sense. Just do it. It's like, oh, okay. Now,
they get the worst commercial.
That's fair. That's fair.
To be honest, that made me question things. I was sitting there. I was like, did anybody just see what I saw?
Yeah,
like those are the one commercials that you're just like you're not hoping you're sitting there by yourself watching the TV and you're just like, what just happened?
So the one I did like the Budweiser one, bringing back the classic Clydesdales. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was.
They had to bring that in there at least. They had to bring it in at least once. But the one that I really liked, and I wish they played more because they ended up playing more like the next day, was the Dunkin' Donuts commercial with Ben Affleck, Casey Affleck, and then all the cameos they had with him. Like the first one they showed on the Super Bowl was with Bill Belichick and his like 19-year-old
His
girlfriend.
24-year-old girlfriend.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah, it's pretty funny. And then, but yeah, and then like a later ones they had Jay and Silent Bob in there with him. He's like, hey, can you sign this? He's like, dude, we've been in 7 movies together. I don't think I need to sign this for you.
It's like,
No,
but
I
that's
love
gonna
that
make me
one.
money.
Yeah, it's gonna make me money though. So yeah, those were great because it was like bringing back funny cameos from all his previous movies. Those are the kind of commercials I like during Super Bowl. Some funny ones,
Yeah.
not these sad, depressing Tom Brady and Shannon Sharp just yelling at each other. Or no, it was Tom Brady and Snoop Dogg just yelling at each other. Stop hate.
No.
It's like obviously I don't need to see this
Obviously.
commercial 17 times for someone to tell me to stop hate.
I mean, you
I
got
was waiting for one. I was waiting for one of them just to end and be like, "Got milk," like how the old "Got Milk" commercials were, where it was like just completely random nonsense.
Yeah.
And then at the very end, it's just like, "Got milk." It's like, oh, that's what that was about. Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, turn the page from that. We're going to turn the page from that now and go into our upcoming week. You got milk. And I guess we got milk coming up
I guess so.
in this upcoming week.
I don't, but I guess I'll just go get milk now since they told me to.
All right. Oh, my pick top 5 games to watch. I'm pretty sure you've got a couple of these on your list too. Obviously coming at
Those you got to get those 4 nations in the 4 Nation Challenge.
yeah, definitely coming in at number 1 though is the number 1 Auburn game. You know, number 1 Auburn versus
Obviously.
number 2 Alabama. I mean, it's the top 2 teams in college basketball.
Yeah,
They've seemed to get themselves on a different level other than other people because they've only got
Yep.
1 loss and they're both in the SEC. So
Yeah, let's pick top 5 games of the week. I don't think the number 1 and 2 team playing each other is gonna. That's not making my list.
I mean,
Absolutely not.
honestly, if Alabama turns up, you know,
That's at
right from the
Alabama,
floor, it's at Alabama, and
Auburn's not
that's-
losing back to back.
Well, they just beat Vanderbilt, so they already had their bounce back game.
It's fair.
And the way they beat Vanderbilt last night was they went up 15-0 on Vanderbilt, and then they ended the half up by only 4 points, and then they pull away and they win by I think like 8 or 9.
Vanderbilt's been a sneaky team for the
So,
SEC this year, though.
yeah.
So they've
But
been
yeah,
in like a lot of the
it
games
was
they
in
played.
it was in Vanderbilt, so Vanderbilt definitely had that home
they-
crowd
yeah.
behind them and all
And
that. kind of
they've had a
stuff,
few
so,
big upsets this year too.
yeah, they definitely had it, but they all only happened on Saturday, unfortunately for them. But yeah, they could have pulled off another one, and yeah, that probably would have made my upset of the week if that happened last night instead of the Duke Clemson one. But yeah, Auburn turned it around and they beat Vanderbilt. So was that a trap game for them? Being between the Florida game and this Alabama game, you know, it's just like
It's hard. It's. I would say if Auburn beat Florida, then yes. But since they had already lost, it's kind of like, well, we got to blow this team out now. So they're going to be super concentrated against Vanderbilt.
yeah, they want to get a winning weekend and not a splitting weekend. I totally understand that.
Yeah.
Coming in at number 2 on my list is number 6 Houston, at number 13 Arizona. Arizona also being a very good basketball team. Few teams go in there and
Big matchup. Big matchup.
they come out of Arizona with a win, especially how Houston's been playing. Like Houston has been up and down lately, and I can see Houston losing this game, but my pick is going to be Houston winning just because they're favored, and I can see how they could come out of Arizona with a win. Coming in at number 3 is the number 16 Wisconsin Badgers going into Purdue. That's going to be a pretty well played game. I believe that will be a rock fight, and I believe Purdue will turn things around, especially after a
I'll
loss
say
to
that's
Michigan.
what I'm saying. That's unfortunate for Wisconsin. They have to go to Purdue and play after they lost.
Yeah.
The last time Purdue lost, they beat Michigan by like 30 points. So that's gonna be tough for them. That's gonna be a hard one, unfortunately, for Wisconsin.
So, and then coming in at number 4, I am putting this game alone, separate from all the rest of the Four Nations game, because the Four Nations face-off tournament is coming in at number 5, right, as a whole. So coming in at number 4 is the U.S. at Canada game. This is like one of the games that no matter
Obviously.
what, you put U.S. against Canada, I'm watching. Like I don't care what I'm doing. I am
Yeah.
glued to the TV watching this game. Like I don't care like what else I'm like.
Get,
I will.
get back on your horses, Canada, and go back and go drink your maple syrup. Get out of here.
Just take your tariffs and go home.
Yes. Go back home, guy.
Well, I'm not your guy, pal.
Yeah, okay, buddy.
Well, I'm not your buddy, guy.
So, yeah, we kind of have almost pretty much verbatim like the same top 5 games. Yeah, I had Auburn, Alabama, obviously 1 and 2. I guess I
Yeah.
got to put them in there. I do have Houston, and Arizona. Arizona's made a little bit of comeback because they started out ranked real high to begin the season, and then they had a couple of bad losses. Started winning again, so I don't know. I don't trust Arizona mainly because I don't trust Caleb Love is a great player, ex-UNC player. He is so streaky, and he takes about 30 shots a game. It's going to be a tough game for Arizona. I don't think they're going to pull that one out against Houston. I also have USA Canada. I mean, obviously, that's a huge game. Even though I'm more curious to watch tonight to see because the first game's tonight, so I want to see what are my expectations are going to be for how hard are they going to play. I mean, they're not going to be
Because it's the
playing like it's the
break
Olympics
at the end of the day, and it's not the Olympics. It's nothing. Nothing's
I
really
really- I
on
just-
the
I
line
just-
for these guys.
I
other than
just
bragging
really,
rights.
really hope. Yeah, I just really, really hope it doesn't turn into previous All-Star games where it's just we'll just skate around and play pickup hockey and score 17-14 or whatever the score would be.
Yeah.
At least some intensity. Don't level some dude, but you can still check here and there. So I didn't group mine as a whole. So I had USA and Canada, and then the other one I had was Canada, Sweden, because those are to me the top 4. It sucks Russia's not in there because Russia's got a powerhouse team. So I'm curious if they'll ever get into this if they keep this going. I would not want to play the Russia team.
Well, you know the reason why it's behind because of all the political stuff.
Well, yeah, it's
That's
all
not
political
sports.
stuff. No, that's what I was referring to. It
Because
wasn't.
at the end of the day, I want to jump on top of that and just speak on a thing that what they could make this better, in my mind, is how they had the World Cup. I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, where you had a North America team, and they were just kids that were 21, 22, they were rookies almost, in the NHL, or they were AHL. I don't know how they devised that team, because you still had your Team America, you still had your Team Canada, and then you had a Team North America, which was guys that didn't make on the U.S. team or the Canadian team, and then you still had Sweden, Finland, and then I think they even had a Germany. I don't think they really did or not, but you had a team.
Yeah,
you had a
did.
Team
I remember
Europe
that.
too.
Yeah.
You
Get your Euro team. Yeah, it's basically your others. So if a country's in a political timeout right now, let's just give them the other slot, and that's where they'll play.
But yeah, I was
It's kind of it's like how they did the Olympics basically for Russia. It was Russia as a country is not allowed, but their athletes can still play as independents.
Yeah, I totally get
So
that.
they can still compete. If it's
So
a political thing against
to
Russia,
grow
then just
to
make it
at
a
least-
separate thing.
Yeah, to grow to
Like
be
an
at
other-
least
yeah.
a 6 or 8 team type of tournament, which would make it
Yeah.
maybe a little bit more interesting, to where
Just
your top 2 teams only
'cause-
make it into the championship.
Yeah, because it's kind of dumb. It's what did Alex Ovechkin do to not get to play? What
Yeah.
was it his fault? Let them play. So no, then my fifth one is the weekend game for basketball. I got Michigan going into Columbus to play Ohio. It will be a big game. Michigan now in first place, so
Yeah.
yeah, I'm curious to watch and see how they play. Ohio State's really good this year when they're playing at home, so that's why this game makes me nervous. But if they play like they did last night and a couple games ago, I mean they've gotten their turnovers down, so it should be a good game. I think they should be able to take care of business. So, but my picks, my gut predictions for mine were: I have Canada beating Sweden. Canada's a powerhouse. I have USA beating Canada because Canada's stupid.
Yep.
I've got sorry Canadians.
Sorry, Canada.
I have a
Sorry, no, sorry.
I have a
We're sorry.
yeah. I'm sorry to all. Yeah,
We're
yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I have Houston beating Arizona. I don't think Arizona has what it takes to beat Houston, so I got the Houston beating Arizona. Yeah, I took Alabama to beat Auburn solely on the fact that we're playing at Alabama. That's kind of a game where it's like, I mean, I don't know. It's a toss up. A neutral site, I would probably say Auburn, but being in Alabama, I'm just going to go with Alabama.
Yeah.
Michigan, Ohio State, I kind of have a sneaky feeling Michigan's going to lose this game. I think they're going to have too much.
Just because it's on the road.
Not really. Yeah, it's on the road. You just came off a big win. Are you going to have like that drive to want to go out and beat them right now? I hope they do, and I hope I'm wrong. But it screams to me the type of game. It's like they just don't have that like same fight that they just had against Purdue.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure Dusty will probably light a fire underneath them or find a way to.
Yeah,
Especially at halftime.
I'm sure they'll. Yeah, I'm sure they'll play fine. I'm just more worried about are they going to be more lackadaisical and be turning the ball over left and right like the beginning of the year they were doing. So
yeah, I can see
yeah,
that. Happening.
I mean this Michigan team really comes down to they could beat any team in this country in my opinion. It just depends on how many turnovers they have.
That makes sense. I mean, I totally can see that happening. And yeah, with my gut predictions, yeah, I'm kind of agreeing with Bama over Auburn, with Bama being at home, Houston over Arizona. I've got Purdue over Wisconsin at home. And then, yeah, I'm picking U.S. over Canada because, yeah, Canada's not very smart.
USA.
And then, well, with the tourney being my fifth game, I've got Canada to win the tourney. But we'll see about that.
Yeah,
because the thing is like Finland is scary. Like I know we're talking about
Finland's
U.S.
a good team, yeah.
We're talking about U.S. and Canada a lot here, but like the one team that I'm kind of scared of right now is Finland, and I can see it coming.
Are good.
I can see that championship coming down between Canada and Finland or U.S. and Canada, as long as because like the thing is like everybody's got to take care of their own, and Sweden is really the biggest underdog here. Just team in this tournament, so it's like you gotta watch the first game to be
Max, if you're listening to this, Alex just said Sweden sucks. They're coming in last place. Go away, Sweden.
Go away. Just go away.
Go away, Sweden. Stupid Swedes. Take your blonde hair and get out of here.
Yeah, so those are my gut predictions. I got an upset prediction coming up for this week. I don't know if it should be an upset prediction. I just know I don't know who else to go with other than Michigan State over
that's
Purdue.
Kind of tough one. Yep. You're going to Michigan State over Purdue.
Yeah, I see Purdue being favored, beating them at home, and then Michigan State just having the kind of season that they're having. And then if Purdue turns around and beats Wisconsin, they're going into this game with a win at home, playing against Michigan State, who's been struggling lately, and they're probably hungry for a win, especially against a top-tier team like Purdue.
No, I can see it. It should be a really good game. I mean, it's honestly up later with a top game of the week.
Yeah, because this game's not actually happening till next Tuesday, so you got a couple now and then.
Yeah.
So
and we usually fall on when we do our recording on Wednesday, so we never really pick Tuesday's games as our stuff. We usually just talk about it afterwards. But
nope, that's why it's there.
My upset of the week also has Michigan State, but I chose when Michigan State has to go into Champaign and play Illinois this weekend.
Oh boy,
Illinois is a scary good team, and that is one of the hardest places to play college basketball. So Illinois has been struggling lately. They were previously ranked almost like in the top 10, and now they've fallen out of the top 25. So this is the kind of win Illinois really does need. This would be a huge resume booster beating Michigan State. Even though it's at home, it's still a top-ranked team. So I could easily see Illinois, especially after Indiana just upset Michigan State at Michigan State. I could see Illinois beating and upsetting Michigan State down there in Champaign.
Yeah, that's a good pick right there, my friend.
Yep.
All right. That takes us to our fantasy focus. Good talk about some tight ends. Let's focus on some tight ends today.
Let's lock it in. Right. Focus.
Yeah, I know, right? So, my top 12 tight ends that I picked for next year, I've got Kittle coming at number 1.
Oh, you're taking Kittle number one.
Yeah, I believe that the tides shift to being relying on Kittle a lot. I mean, just how the San Francisco 49ers program just went, especially at the end of the season, was just abysmal. And I don't see anybody really surviving other than Kittle. And just what really says to me is like they're going to be relying on him when
Yeah.
it comes to
I
the
think they
passing
will.
game more than anybody
No,
else. So
because you don't know where you don't know where Debo's going to be. You don't
Yeah.
know
So-
if Brandon Ayuk is even going to be ready for the season. So he is definitely going to get a lot of targets for sure.
So that just tells me he's gonna be that guy, that their go-to guy, and he's gonna answer the bell because he's just that kind of person. He'll answer the bell
Yeah.
when you need him to.
No,
So
he will. He's also he's such an underrated tight end too. People
Yeah.
don't talk about him enough.
Yeah. So
Well, I'll throw you a curveball now. So we'll alternate 1 and 1, 2 and 2. So my number one is Trey McBride.
okay. Well,
Easily
I've got him at number 2, like right behind.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, Trey McBride's my number one. He just a dominant target dude. I mean, last year he finished as like tight end number 2, I think.
Yep.
And he had 2 touchdowns all year, or 1 touchdown all year, and it wasn't until like the last game of the season. That's insane. That means he had a ton of targets, ton of catches, and over 1,000 yards receiving as a tight end. He was just a game changer for someone's tight end.
oh yeah, that's definitely a game changer, especially if you get those yards, because not a lot of tight ends get yards.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's my
Your
number 2.
is
Yeah.
Yeah, so well, we both agree on that one. My number two goes to Brock Bowers.
Okay.
Insane rookie season, especially like if you're talking about dynasty. I mean, Bowers might be your number one, but yeah, I mean, dude's a target. He's basically what that hype about Kyle Pitts was when he came out of Florida back
Yep.
then. Same thing, except he was even better and looked better in the NFL. So unbelievable generational tight end, and he's probably going to be a top 2 tight end for the next, I don't know, 8-9 years. So
Oh, for sure.
target
For sure.
hog,
I agree with
speed,
that.
catches, receiving, and gets touchdowns. Especially with the new regime coming in there in Oakland. Hopefully they keep throwing to him. But yeah, he's my number 2.
Well, I've got him a little bit later in my top 12. He's still in my top 12. I just have that
Okay.
fear factor really of the abysmal sophomore slump, because
Yeah.
my own guy who's also in this top 12, that plays for the Detroit Lions, had a very big sophomore slumpy kind of year this past season, and it happens.
The big difference I see with Laporta and Bowers.
Yeah.
Laporta unfortunately has to go up against St. Brown, Jameson Williams, Dave Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs. They're loaded. They have so many weapons. So he's obviously not going to be a target hog. He's going to be a touchdown kind of guy. I mean, who's on Oakland?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Crickets. Like who's on their team, or Las Vegas, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, who's on? Like nobody. It's literally Bowers. So they have nowhere else to go to but him. I mean, skipping forward, like my number 3 is Laporta. I think he does have a bounce back season.
Yeah.
I think he's going to get more. I think he's going to get more. I think his targets are going to go up. His catches are going to go up, and he's not going to be as needy of a touchdown dependent guy. So I think he will get his numbers back up to more of how his freshman season was.
Yeah, well, my number 3 is actually going to Hawkinson. I got Hawkinson coming in at 3, only because Sam Darnold likes to dump it off a lot more. Like he just tends to do that, and I feel like how the season ended for them, for the Vikings, essentially is if it's Sam playing again, he's going to be targeting Hawkinson a little bit more coming out. Or if it's JJ, Hawkinson's going to be.
He likes to use tight ends. Yeah, I think
Hawkinson's going to be the big guy that JJ goes to.
I agree.
Like he's good. He's good.
I think if it's JJ,
Yeah.
yeah, I think if it's JJ, Hawkinson is going to have a good year.
So like
Because even when he came back, Sam didn't target him as much. But yeah, I agree with you. If it's JJ, Hawkinson should be in the top 12 as long as he's healthy.
so like that's why he's there. Is like my view is I don't think it's gonna be Sam playing it. It's gonna be JJ because JJ's gonna get himself healthy, and I think honestly I think Sam Darnold and the Vikings are gonna probably part ways. I don't see him.
I think they will. I think they're going to.
If anything, he might stick around for one more season, but I don't think he's gonna want to spend the days.
They're not going to spend
on the sidelines.
Yeah, and they're not unless they franchise tag Darnold. They're not going to give him a contract. They can't spend that much draft stock on JJ and then re-sign the Darnold, who kind of just fumbled in the playoffs. So
yeah, that's why I got Hawkinson at my 3.
Your 3.
Coming in at 4, I've got Zach Ertz. I've got Jaden Daniels throwing it to Ertz a lot. Like he did it a lot in the playoffs. Like he started seeing how Ertz can get him that first down when it's like 3rd and 4 or 2nd and like 7. Like when it's that short yard game that he needs like that last guy that just to get him those yards to get him the first down. He's going to be going to Ertz, and just seeing that come into fruition for Jaden Daniels to throw it to Ertz like that just speaks to me like he's going to be using this guy.
And he said he wants to come back.
Push comes to shove. So yeah,
I want to put Ertz in there, but I'm unsure right now if they're going to re-sign him because he is a free agent. So he did say he wants to come back. He doesn't want to retire yet. So I agree. The dude was outstanding, especially in the later of the season and then going into the playoffs. He was just a perfect target for Jaden Daniels is like his dump off throws. He loved to throw to Zach Ertz or just throw it deep to Terry. So I like that. I like Zach Ertz in there. That's pretty cool. Yeah. I got my 4 is George Kittle. The same reasons that you had him in there. He's going to be a good target hog. You don't know if Debo's coming back, and you don't know if Brandon Ayuk's going to be healthy enough, at least in the beginning of the season. That injury usually is a lingering injury, so he is going to be depending on George Kittle, and if it's not George Kittle, he's probably going to be throwing it to CMC, who is fully healthy now. So he's my 4.
That can definitely take a little hitch in his giddy up, but I can see that as well. My number 5, I've got Laporta. I've got my guy coming in hot at number 5. Yeah, there he is. He's found him.
There he is.
Yeah,
he's got him.
Just behind 4 other guys. I mean, yeah, he's a really good tight end. He's gonna be that touchdown kind of guy, the guy that gets us that play action look that we need to dump off to somebody. So
yeah. Yeah, because I already had Laporta in there as my number 3 because I think he's going to have surprise people. My number 5 is if he returns, obviously it's going to change. If not, I still got to put Travis Kelce in there as a top 5 tight end.
Yeah.
He still demands targets. He's not going to be the same Travis Kelce he was 3 years ago. But I mean, you're picking at straws when you're talking about tight ends and top 5. You usually have your top 2 right now or top 3, and then it's just everyone else. And if Kelce falls in your everyone else, you'd be pretty happy if he comes back. So he's still gonna get you touchdowns. He's still gonna get you close to 1,000 yards. His catches might not go up, but he's still gonna be a dependable top 5 tight end to me if he returns. Well, especially if they're gonna do some kind of a revenge season.
Yeah, well, guess who's coming at 6 on mine? Just outside
Taylor Swift.
Just outside of the top 5. Yeah, that guy.
Taylor Swift is.
Taylor Swift's boyfriend.
Yeah, we don't even have to talk about him anymore. I mean, it's perfect.
You're 5, my 6. I mean, because I agree with you. That's why he's at my 6. Is like that. There's the unsure.
You don't know
if you don't know he's gonna be back and all that, and so that's why he's at my 6.
Yeah, and even if he is back, he's still not going to top the guys I think on my list. That's why I just keep him there for now. My number 6, I have my boy in Cleveland, David Njoku. Had an awesome season.
Okay.
I think no matter what, Cleveland is going to be getting a quarterback. So whether it be a free agent, whether it's like Kirk Cousins or they get Sam Darnold or whoever it be, or they draft a quarterback, they're going to get a quarterback. And even if it's a rookie quarterback coming in there, the most dependable guy for a rookie is always the tight end. That's why we talked about with your pick of Hawkinson, I love Hawkinson if it's J.J. McCarthy because he's going to want to – the rookie quarterbacks love throwing to their tight ends just because it's a perfect safety valve. And Njoku's almost like a wide receiver, just a huge one because he's fast, great hands, and big. So he had an awesome season this year, and I think he will keep it going for next year.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And with my 6, I've got Kincaid coming in at 6. I believe that he has a better year than he did last season, especially with how his season went. I'm kind of afraid to even have him in here, but
he's on mine, but a little bit later, yeah.
But with the other guys coming in behind, like all these guys that are coming in here, I don't know, like, because I'm just getting into the weeds myself, because I'll just keep continuing and say my next guys are Andrews and Likely. Like, that's my next 2 guys.
The combo.
The combo, because...
I mean, Andrews is my 7, so he's in there too. I think Mark Andrews is going to have... How they ended their season last year, like, that's devastating for him dropping the ball.
Yeah.
So I think he has a comeback year, and he played much better the last 8 games of the season. So I do think he's going to come back and have not a crazy season like old Mark Andrews, but he will have a solid season to me.
Yeah, because that's kind of what I'm getting at. With the last of these guys, you could literally just swap them out to the other positions, but keep them in the top 12 is what I'm saying. Because my next 3, I've got Pitts, Otten, and then Bowers. Like, just to kind of completely round that off for me.
Yeah, Bowers that low. You really think he's going to hit that sophomore slump, don't you?
I really do. Just seeing how Laporta did, and you just don't know. I think the Raiders themselves, with all their picks, they're going to get a few wideouts, and they're going to get a running back, and they're going to have a little bit of a better offense to work with, and still be able to throw it to Bowers at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll necessarily repeat his freshman year, but I see what you're saying with him. My last 5, I have Kincaid, like you, is in there. He's my number 9, I think. Yeah, number 9. I think he's gonna have a better year. He just had a down year. There was his sophomore slump for you right there. He just didn't look good. They didn't throw tight end that much, so I don't know. They had a weird offense, even though they were a prolific offense. I don't know. They just didn't want to throw Dalton Kincaid that much. My number 9, I had Jonnu Smith is in there. He's in mine. The way he ended last year, he became Tua's literal target if it wasn't going to Tyreek Hill. And when Tyreek Hill is injured, if it wasn't going to Jalen Waddle, it's going to Jonnu Smith. It's basically he looks for a second downfield, throws it to Jonnu Smith. And I don't blame him. He's got 1,700 concussions. So the next one's probably going to kill him or retire him. So he's going to be trying to get rid of the ball quick, and that's Jonnu Smith. So I think he's going to have another solid year. My last 3, I had Kyle Pitts, rookie quarterback coming in, or not rookie, but it'll be his first full season. So I think I'm going to give Kyle Pitts one more chance here because he has the skills. Everything's there. I just feel like quarterbacks don't throw to him. So I think maybe with the new quarterback, he might start throwing it to Kyle Pitts again. So I still will sneak him in there just for his skill set alone.
Yeah.
My last 2, I had Dallas Goedert. He's just a dependable guy, top 12 guy. He's not going to light up the score sheet for you, but he's going to get you 6, 8, 9 fantasy points a game, which you're not going to be mad at for your tight end spot.
Because he's just going to be getting you all the first downs, really. Yeah, and he's going to get that yardage, really. And he's probably going to have maybe a touchdown or 2.
Yeah, he might get you 4 touchdowns on the season, 4 or 5 touchdowns, but mainly it's basically most of his games are going to be 4 catches for 50 yards, 5 catches for 40 yards. Somewhere in there. He's just going to be a solid plug in there for you at tight end spot. And then my number 12, I had the sneaky one. I have Jake Ferguson for Dallas. If Dak comes back healthy, looks good, back to their normal solid offense, I think Ferguson could have another good year like he did 2 years ago. So he's going to finish me off with my top 12.
All right. I like that. I really do. All right. Best incoming rookie tight end to start. I've got
go ahead and take our guy. Go ahead and take our guy.
Do you have him too?
Obviously.
He's the number 2 guy on the list. Yeah, so who else are we going to pick?
It's literally tight. We're talking about fantasy and tight end, so there's really only 2 that light up the score sheet, or like, oh, these two probably have the best odds of being your top tight end, or not top tight ends, but a fantasy relevant tight end for fantasy players. So yeah, go ahead.
Just go ahead.
You can just
Alex.
name both. You can just name both of them because it's the same one.
Well, I'll just name one. You name the other one. Colston
right,
Loveland.
Obviously,
Obviously.
he's a stud. He's tall, fast, plays like a receiver. Yeah, I love him. And then, I mean, obviously the other one's Ty Warren for Penn State. So, I mean, there's a couple sneaky ones in there, but they'd just be hit and miss. These guys are going to be your two guys that you're looking at.
Yeah, especially for them, whoever they get drafted to. I feel like they're going to win a good tight end, and that's going to be a W on their board for picking them to be on their team from the draft.
Yeah, as long as you don't go to like the Patriot or just some team that doesn't throw their tight ends and just use them as blockers or just. Yeah, I hope they just go to a good situation. That'd be like perfect. Like go to a team that likes to throw to tight ends or just throws it a lot. I mean,
yeah, throws it more often than running it. That's for sure.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, like even like the Panthers. I would. They got a younger tight end, but like the Panthers, Bryce likes to throw to his tight end. So it's like go there, go to. I could see Tampa drafting a tight end because K. Don's a little older. He's not really an alpha type tight end. He's kind of like he's going to give you some good games here and there, but with the weapons they have around them and Tampa, he's not going to be like a light up guy. So I can maybe see one of them going to there.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, moving on to some gambling men. Ooh. Get ready for my 3-leg parlay, Kyle.
Gambling time.
Gambling time. All right, I went 1 for 2 last week with my 3-leg parlay. The only win was I can't remember, but I know I lost.
Only win.
Yeah.
You didn't keep track of them.
No.
Oh man, Tilly's pissed now.
Well, I know from the Super Bowl same game parlay. I went 3-2. My 2 losses were Barkley not getting a touchdown and then the Chiefs losing.
Yeah, that one hurt. I think a lot of gamblers.
But I got 3 wins. I made some money. I'm good. I did.
That's fair.
Like that's how I do my parlays. I put it on at least individual things, and then I parlay it, and that's how you do a parlay, right? That's how it works.
I went 2-1 last week on my 3-leg parlay. The only one that ruined me was Chiefs.
Yeah,
I had the Tampa Bay Lightning money line against Detroit, hit. I had Ohio State upsetting Maryland, hit, and I had Chiefs against the Eagles, not hit.
No.
So yeah, I went 2-1. It got me to 25-17 to start, so I'm still got a winning percentage here. I'll take it.
Nice. Yeah. So my upcoming 3-leg parlay, I've got some Champions League coming your way.
Oh, Champions League. I know nothing about it.
I know nothing about soccer. What?
What the hell is soccer?
What is football? What? This is America. We talk about American football.
You tell me I watched this for 90 minutes and it ends 1-0 or 0-0?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's how all these games are going to end in my favor. All right, here we go. Atalanta. Atalanta. Not Atlanta. Atalanta. Atalanta. Money line over the Club Brugge, sitting at plus 135. Okay, and they're the favorite team. That's the favorite team.
I don't know what any of that meant.
Plus 135, favorite team. What? How's the favorite team at plus 135?
I don't know what the Atlanta playing.
Club Brugge. Club Brugge.
Club Rug.
Club Brugge.
Club Rug.
All right, and then
Sounds like they're just playing some kind of preschool team.
I've got Monaco. You know where Monaco is?
Sure.
It's where they have that race, that famous race. You know, the Monaco 5,000, whatever.
The Daytona 500.
The Daytona 500. I've got Monaco money line over Benfica. Benfica.
Isn't that a drug?
I don't know. But it's at plus 140. And they're the favorite team. Again, at plus 140. This is getting ridiculous how the favorite team is right now both pluses. And guess who the final favorite team is.
Wait a minute. Time out. How can you be the favorite when you're not the favorite? That makes no sense.
They are the favorite team. The other team has more money and bigger odds
who said
for
they're
them
the
to
favorite?
win. I don't know, but I'm just saying, like, if I took the other team, I'm trying to win more money. Like, I'm going to be betting more money on the other team. The other team is the favorite team. And they're sitting at plus
when I hear favorite, when I hear who's the favorite, I go to my money line that I'm looking at, and who is the minus, who is the plus? They're favorite,
and they're both pluses.
They're both.
This is
so stupid.
This is the madness behind my brain. All right.
I know
you know this last one, though. I know you know this last one. You've played FIFA with me. You played FIFA with me. This last one, Juventus.
They do pluses.
Juventus. You know who Juventus is, though. Come on.
I don't know. I don't know him.
You played FIFA enough.
I don't know him. I don't know this guy. See, they put pluses in soccer because guess what happens in these games?
Zlatan Ibrahimovic. You remember Matt's favorite player who played for this team, Juventus.
We don't talk about Swedes here. No. See, look, they put pluses in soccer because guess what happens in soccer matches? No one wins.
No one wins. They all draw.
No one wins. It's a draw.
All right, so Juventus money line over PSV Eindhoven is at plus 195. Beethoven?
You say PS5 Beethoven?
It's at plus 195. So the total...
I'm pretty sure you're just making up names right now.
I am not. The total is plus 1563. $10 pays 165. So that's...
Good luck with that one.
Good luck with that.
They're all just going to end in a tie. So great. All right. We'll go back to real sports now here.
All right, Alex is done talking for the rest of this time.
We're done talking about PS5 Beethoven and some dude named Javon. What did you ever said? I forgot what you said the other team's name was. We're done talking about that guy.
Monaco.
The Monaco and Pacifico or Benefito. All right, so real sports talk now. So my first of my spread or my parlays, I took the Purdue spread, whatever it is they have, obviously, because they haven't released it yet. We kind of hit on it earlier. I like Purdue to kind of beat Wisconsin kind of handedly. I don't know what that would mean, but if you're given, like, again, we don't know the spread, but if it's like Purdue -8, I would take that. I think Purdue could end up beating them by like 10, 11 points, so...
Have you been paying attention to where it normally sits for Purdue, like on average?
I want to say on average, they're probably like... basketball's hard because they play a bad team, it's like -20. So
yeah.
I think when they're playing decent teams, that's usually they keep them under the double digits. So if it's -8, -7, minus whatever, like if it's in the single digits...
-9.5?
I would take it. I think Purdue's going to beat them by at least 10. I think they'll beat them by at least 10. So if your spread's under the 10 mark...
So -9.5. I'm going to give you the spread then. -9.5.
There you go. 9.5. I'll take Purdue on that, on the spread. So I'll take the minus on that. My other one I have, it's probably not going to be the craziest. I like it because it's Houston, Arizona. I'm taking the Houston money line on Arizona. I like it because even though Houston's favored in this, I don't think the money line spread, like the actual, your number, is not going to be like outrageously minus. It's probably going to be like -150 or something like that. And that's pretty good when you're trying to combine your parlays. You always want to pick maybe a couple pluses or one plus with two small minuses. So I like the Houston money line on Arizona. It's probably, like we said, it's going to be like maybe like -150, somewhere in there. Take that one, and then to get me my other plus, and I don't think it's actually going to be a big plus now that Indiana just beat Michigan State. I was going to say take the Illinois money line against Michigan State this weekend, because I think that you probably... I'm saying this now, but I don't think you might get plus money on that one. It's probably going to be like a -110. I think Illinois might be favored in this game. But combining them all, it should get you some pretty good odds on a three-leg parlay. You'll probably get to like +500, +600 on that kind of bet. So those are my three. Those are the ones I like the best.
All right.
Realistic odds. My honorable mention is Creighton versus St. John's over. I almost wanted to put this one in my three-leg parlay because I actually did a little bit of research on this one, and they both score a lot of points. They both score like 80 points a game.
Yeah.
And I think the over is like 140 right now. So basically, if they just score under their average and just get to like a 72-70 game, you're still hitting your over. I could see this game being kind of like a high scoring game. So that's my honorable mention is taking Creighton versus St. John's, and I think it's tonight or tomorrow. Taking that over in that game.
All right. I like that honorable mention. My honorable mention is I'm taking the U.S. money line over Canada because, screw Canada.
I wanted to take some of those.
Right.
Again, I need a feeling on these games. I don't know what these games are going to be like.
Because right now, sitting at negative 102, I don't care. I'm taking U.S. all the way. USA.
I like it. I like it.
USA.
I mean, I like them, but again, I don't know what we're expecting.
And that's what I'm taking. Yeah, I know it's hard to figure out what to expect, but this is what I'm expecting in my same game parlay for potentially the first game between Canada and Sweden. All right, I'm going to take McDavid anytime goal for my same game parlay. Granted, I went 3-2, so I can brag a little bit, but the losses were at Saquon Barkley, getting an anytime score, and then the Chiefs supposed to win, but they lost. But anyways,
what's the puck line or the over under on? What do they have it as the over under?
Oh, the over under is like at 6.5.
That makes sense. I'd actually almost hammer that one in.
The over.
My expectations honestly is like what we talked about. It's not going to be Olympic style, and I think it's not going to be your NHL All Star game. I think it's going to be like a competitive, but I still think it's going to be like a 7-5 type of games for these tournaments.
Because
I might end up going in there and doing it now. I like yours. I might go in and do like McDavid gets a goal, Crosby gets 2 points, and I'm going to take the over.
That's what I've kind of got going on here is with the four nations. They got the over under 6.5. Yeah. So I've got McDavid anytime goal sitting at plus 200 right now. Okay, and then I've got Larkin getting anytime goal for Sweden. Or not Larkin, Raymond. Sorry, I'm looking at my top 3 player props. I lost my place. Lucas Raymond to get anytime goal for Sweden, plus 400, right? And then Canada money line over Sweden, negative 245. That's a total of plus 1,700. $10 pays 180.
Yeah, I like that. That's nice. Oh, what? Can't combine that.
I know. Like some of these things you can't combine. You gotta be careful when you can and what you can't.
Some of these sites are kind of dumb. Like, if I literally just go in the same game parlay, it'll let me do it then.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my same game parlay for the upcoming week.
Interesting. I think I might just place yours right now while we're fiddling around here. All right. Oh, well, before I place that one. All right, my same game parlay. So last week, it was all Super Bowl related, and I did terrible because betting's stupid. I previously I went 1 for I went 1 for 2. Luckily
now just in our don't do it part. Don't bet.
It put me 5-4 overall, but I'm happy because the one I hit was the one I said is almost a guaranteed lock, and it scared the crap out of me because he didn't do it until the fourth quarter near the end of the game. And now it's Pacheco to get over 4.5 receiving yards. And he didn't get it until like the end of the game. Yeah, I had Chiefs money line, Mahomes under 251, and Pacheco 4.5 yards. So I hit 1. But no, this week I chose to do the Rutgers Iowa basketball game.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's tonight. I think it's tonight. So on this one, I did Rutgers money line over Iowa. I did the Rutgers under of 84.5. It's a lot of points. 84.5 is a lot of points. So I'm playing this game as it's going to be like a 70-60 type game, like a lower scoring game. I don't think they're going to hit 84. So I combine that one with the total points under of 162. So I'm playing on the lines that I think Rutgers is going to win at home. They have basically the second pick overall next year and the third pick overall on their team with Ace Bailey and I forget the other guy's name. Yeah, so basically they got 2 guys that are superstar. I don't know why I'm blanking on his name right now. He's literally going to go third in the draft. But yeah, I like Rutgers to beat Iowa. They're a tough team to play at home. That stadium is the Papa John Stadium is so hard to play at. So I'm taking them money line over Iowa, under the 84 and under the 162.
Nice. Okay.
It was like
that.
I don't have it pulled up, but I think it was like plus 480 or something like that. So it wasn't too bad.
Oh, dang. Okay. Yeah. I'll take that. All right. So, top 3 player props of the week. I'm actually turning in to 4, just in honor of the 4 nations face off, because I've got 1 player from each nation to get anytime goal, going on top of this McDavid anytime goal from Canada, and then the Lucas Raymond anytime goal for Sweden. I've got Larkin anytime goal for USA, and then Rantanen for anytime goal for Finland.
You ready? I'm about to do one crazy for you. I'm sorry. I just completely just went off the hinge here because I'm on my app right now. So if my prediction's right, these lines are going to change after tonight's game if it's like a 8-7 game, right?
Yep.
The over under all, and I'm looking at them all. They're all like 5.5, 6, 5.5. So what I just did, Alex, I did a over on every single game for the 4 Nations challenge. I took the over on every single one to give me a plus 5,000.
Dang. There you go.
So $5 to win 300, basically.
Hey. I'll take that.
Done. Put in.
Done.
All right. Now where was I?
Where was I? That's my 3-player prop picks of the week.
What are we? Yeah. What are we talking about? Player props now? Okay. So
all those players have got to score goals now. So
yeah. They're back in it now. So no, last week again I went 1 for 2 last week because I chose the stupid Super Bowl bets, and I had the Mahomes under, Pacheco over, Barkley anytime TD. So it was just a miserable one. I'm still 16-10 overall. So last week just kind of ruined my average, but. I tried to do this one, like I said, where I pick a stat and kind of run with it if you want to go with it.
yeah.
So my first one is for Michigan versus Ohio State. I'm going to go Danny Wolf to get 10-plus rebounds. You put that double-digit one, you should get like your maybe plus 100 or minus 100. You'll get pretty good odds on that. And he didn't do it last game, and he usually, if he doesn't do it the game before, he's going to do it again. And I don't think Ohio State's too big on the boards this year. And I think he's going to be a rebounding machine in that game.
Okay.
My second one, I've got Purdue because I think Purdue's going to kind of beat them, like we talked about, beat them Wisconsin pretty good. I think I'm going with a Braden Smith 5+ assists. Assists usually you can get pretty good odds on, and he's an assist machine. He just only had 4 against Michigan, so I think you should get decent odds if you do 5+, or if you're feeling froggy, go 6+. But yeah, I'm gonna take 5+ assists with Braden Smith. And my last one is going to be good old Braum from Auburn. He had a mediocre-ish game with Florida, but I think for them to win against Bama, he's going to have to like kind of ball out against them. So I'm going to go 15+ points for him to get against Alabama.
Okay. I like that. That sounds great to me. I mean, I'll go bet on that too.
Yeah. Once they release the players,
once they release everything, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Honestly, I won't be able to, but I wish. Anyways, don't bet on it, Kyle. My 2 don't bet on it is going to be the Ole Miss Mississippi State game. It's a in-state rivalry game. They're pretty middle of the pack kind of teams in the SEC. They've already faced each other once, so they know each other already. And this one, I believe, is in Mississippi State. So I can see Ole Miss winning, but Ole Miss is the favorite, being the higher ranked team.
Yeah, and I was looking at their schedule today, and I mean, Ole Miss has some good wins, but Ole Miss might be a little bit overrated for where they're ranked. So yeah, that's going to be a tough one. Yeah, it'll be hard to bet on that.
And then the other thing is, I did it last week, so I'm going to not do it anymore, is bet on the NBA. Because I bet on the Pistons, and they lost. But I
have a hard time betting on in sports I don't watch. That's why it's like.
Well, that's the thing is like, I don't watch the NBA, but when I went in to look at the NBA, I was trying to find anything. But it's just like you got -400s, -300s, whatever for the favorite team, and then the team that's behind, they're plus 200, plus 300, to where it's just like, am I going to be wasting my money here, or am I actually going to win something? But it's just like the NBA it feels like the WNBA back in the day. Like, you got your favorite teams, and they're gonna win no matter what. You can't do anything. You can't say anything to make a difference here anymore.
Yeah, I agree.
Like where you got your top teams, they're gonna be your top teams forever and ever now.
No, I agree. Yeah, so my don't bet on it, even though I said to bet on Johnny Brom from Alabama or from Auburn. What I meant is don't bet on the Alabama Auburn game, as in like your team, like team bets. I don't like the spread.
Don't bet on somebody to win. Don't bet on the over under.
Yeah, it's going to be a hard bet to win, and you're not really going to get crazy good odds either way on it. They're just going to be kind of even across the board, if I had to guess. So
yeah.
And the over under is probably going to be absurd. It's probably going to be like 180 points or something like that. So
180.
It'll probably be at least 170 if I had to guess. It's probably going to be like 170 or 168 or something like that. It's going to be really high for this game. So
all the odds. I thought you were talking about the points itself. I'm like, I don't think they're going to score 180 points.
No, I meant total points. But it's going to be 180 total points for both teams.
You are talking about points. Oh gosh.
Both of these guys average like 85 points a game.
Yeah.
90 points a game. I mean, Alabama scored over 100 like 6 times this year. That's crazy. So, yeah, I just don't like it. And my other one is, even though I just placed like 3 bets on it, don't bet on the Four Nations tourney.
Don't do it. Don't do what I said.
Yeah, because
do as I say.
I just said.
do as I say. Don't do as I do.
Unless my prediction is just spot on and they just go over on every game, then bet on it. But otherwise, I'd be nervous on it because, again, I would say bet on it, but wait a game. See how it's going to play out, or wait after today at least.
Yeah.
Like, see how these games are, like how the feel of the game is going to be, how the flow is going to be. Is it going to be like a actually competitive, like they're going to be hitting each other type game? Then, yeah, it's going to be kind of hard to bet on. But if it's just you watch the first game like Canada Sweden and they just scoring left and right, get your phones out and start hammering overs on every one while you still have the odds to do it.
Nice, yeah.
Because like I said, I think if it's like an 8-7 game tonight and then the next game is 8-7, all these over unders are going to be like 9 goals or something like that, or 10 goals.
Yeah.
So at 5.5 and 6, that's almost like a normal hockey game's over under.
And this is not a normal hockey game.
No, they're not going to be just like lighting each other up. There's going to be more scoring in this type of game. So, it's not free money. Gambling's not free money. So, to me, it's as close as you can almost get if it's the way I think it's going to go. I think they're going to score goals.
I feel that. I definitely can agree with you on that.
Yeah.
All right. Now we turn it around, closing up the book with some Homeward Bound. Got 2 things for NFL talk. I know we normally talk about the Lions, but this is kind of along the line just from his lineage, I would say. I don't know if we really want to claim that, but Matt Patricia was the Lions head coach. We stupidly, dumbly, what other word can I say? Just like hired him
It was a great hire. It was a great hire.
No, it wasn't. It was the worst hire we ever had.
You got him from Bill Belichick. So.
From Bill Belichick. He was Bill Belichick's defensive coordinator. We decided we needed a stupid guy to. I wish we still had Jim Caldwell.
Stupid guy with a stupid beard and a stupid pencil in his hat that he always wears.
Yes, all that. And now this guy's going to be the defensive coordinator for the team.
Ohio.
The team.
That's an interesting hire. He is a good defensive coordinator. So, but it's like the problem with like defensive coordinator. It's like how are they gonna? I mean, being a coordinator is easier when you transition from NFL to college. It'll be curious. I'm curious to see what's gonna happen. So
it seemed to be not very successful with Chip Kelly, but I don't know.
No.
All right, so
But yeah,
the
Chip Kelly's the offense, and Chip Kelly left, and now you got Brian Hartline, which was a smart hire by them. They didn't want to lose Hartline.
the second football announcement that can be still tailored to be a homeward bound part of this segment is, well, this guy, Terry Bradshaw, is coming to Greensboro, all right? And he's
Back
gonna
up, Terry.
yeah, he's gonna be hosting a little get together annual dinner. It's his 119th annual dinner, cocktail reception to happen at 5:30 on
Wait a minute. Did you just say?
today?
Did you just say it's his 119th annual?
I don't know if it's his. It's the Greensboro's 119th annual dinner, and it's
Dude's old as hell.
happening at 5:30 tomorrow. Yeah.
Are you going to show up?
It's sponsored by the Greensboro Grasshoppers, Duke Energy, United Healthcare, First Point. Yeah, it looks pretty interesting.
Well, you should go over there and tell Terry to hop on next week with us.
I know, right? But yeah,
Come on, Terry.
I thought that would be a good little homeward bound part of our segment to
That's
tie
pretty
in
cool.
here.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So and then moving on to some college. Wolverines getting a big week coming up, especially with how they've been winning recently. They've got some challenges coming ahead.
They've got a tough schedule to end. They still got to go play Michigan State twice.
Yep.
They've got to play Illinois. They got to play.
They got to go into Ohio State here on Sunday.
You got Ohio State, Michigan State twice, Illinois. I want to say Maryland. They still got Rutgers.
I've got it in front of me, buddy.
Again.
So, yeah, Ohio State coming on Sunday, Michigan State next Friday, and then the Monday after, they're going to Nebraska. Then
Nebraska's the other one.
Thursday, the 27th, they've got Rutgers, and then going into March, you've got Illinois and Maryland at home, and then going back into Michigan State to finish off the season.
It is a tough end to the season, so... But right now, they're basically a lock into the tournament, just really what seed they're going to get. So, look, they're playing good basketball right now. As long as they can keep the turnovers over, I'm not worried about really any team. They have the skill. They just got to stop turning the ball over. This team's really good. I was looking at their resume, and I mean, their strength of schedule, their strength of remaining schedule, their non-conference, it's all like top 25. So, which you can't say about a lot of teams. Luckily for Michigan, teams like Michigan State and Purdue also have extremely hard schedules to end the season as well. So it could just be a back and forth. I'm hoping to get maybe like they should beat Rutgers at home. They should beat Maryland at home. They should beat Illinois at home. And as long as they can split with Michigan State, they could easily finish as the regular season Big Ten champs. So again, it's just going to come down to them not turning the ball over or not, and just. I mean, they're going to have their games where they're not shooting well. They're still not really shooting the ball very well from deep. So, yeah, I just need them to stop turning the ball. Like this game against Purdue, they did not shoot the ball very well from deep, but they stopped turning the ball over, and it turned into a win for them. So,
yeah, and then that's all we've got for Michigan. Do you have anything for the Pack or the Deeks? Because all I've got is a little bit of Deeks talk.
Yeah, the only thing I really got for men's NC State is they will be having a new coach next year. So
yeah,
sorry, Keats. Sorry, Keats.
He's been on the hot seat for a while, and what saved him was that ACC run and then the run in the NCAA.
He literally was gonna be fired last year if they didn't make that run. And I mean, it's not like they don't have a talented team. They have a good team, and I've been to like 4 or 5 state basketball games already, and they're in every game. And it's just they just don't know how to win. It's just like it's coaching blunders at times. They should have beaten Clemson at home, and I mean, they should have beat Duke at home. They just don't know how to win, and it's like when it comes down to crunch time, I question some of the calls he's deciding to do, or like when to take a timeout, when to not. Like, why are you putting this guy in right now? Where's the game? Like, where's the game plan? Like, it's just like I feel like at times they just like, all right, go play basketball, and I'll see what happens.
Yeah. Well, I kind of agree with you there. And then Wake's kind of looking like they're going to be one of the 4 teams in the bubble right now. They're looking like one of the last 4 teams in. I feel like they're going to probably get in. Just looking at the rest of their season, they got Florida State, right, and then they got to go to SMU. Okay,
They should win.
they're going to be on the road against NC State, and then
They better win.
they've got Virginia at home, then Notre Dame at home.
I mean, those are all 4 winnable games.
Now,
5 winnable games.
now you got to go to Cameron, and then you got
They're not winning that game.
and then you got Georgia Tech at home to finish off the season.
I mean, I see maybe 2 losses out of there. If
Yeah,
they, I mean,
like
it's
you-
a good team.
you don't
so
see-
I see maybe 2 losses.
Yeah, you see one definite loss coming in Cameron out of all those, and then you probably see maybe a fall somewhere, a blunder there, if they're not coached right. But right now they're on a 3 winning record.
3-game win streak.
They swept the California trip.
Yeah, they played really good out there. It was
They
a
went
great
to
trip for
Sanford
them.
and they won, and they went to Cal and they won. To go against that one little stat that I named earlier, now it's 2 wins on the road for the first game in the ACC.
And it's what they needed. They needed this to maybe hopefully jumpstart the rest of their season. So, or their closing of the regular
But
season for them. So.
that's just crazy to me that they have to play Stanford twice. Like, when you get a team playing another team twice within a league or a conference, you usually line them up against somebody that's, especially with Wake Forest, you line them up against Duke, which they are playing Duke twice, or Carolina, which they're not playing Carolina twice, or NC State, which they're not playing NC State twice either. It's Stanford, it's Duke,
I think
and
it's
I think it's Georgia
I think
Tech.
it was because of
No.
I think it was because it was just from the conference realignment. Not everybody like their usual suspects. They play twice a year now. They're going to be rotating it year by year.
Yeah.
I think what their plan was, like the Big Ten, they'll pick like 2 or 3 teams that's who you're going to play twice every year, no matter what, and then everybody else will just kind of rotate in. Like Michigan only plays Ohio State once this year. Michigan will always play Michigan State twice in basketball.
Yeah.
So it's I think it's kind of like that.
I feel like that's just going to make things a little bit more weary to me because I like that 2-game thing that they have. But like I was texting you the other day is with Michigan playing Michigan State in hockey, they split the weekend and they win in East Lansing, but they lose the duel in the D. And the duel in the D, that trophy to me now is the Paul Bunyan. It's literally the Paul Bunyan between Michigan and Michigan State. You don't share that with anybody else. This is not the GLI Invitational, the Great Lakes Invitational, where you got 4 teams playing for a trophy and a banner. Like you only got 2 teams, and they're just playing it out at a neutral site. And if basketball if basketball can go this way, in my mind, you have your 2 games, right? But you make it to where one team has the home field advantage, like in one of the games, right? And then they just vice versa every season. And then you have the second game be a neutral game and be for bragging rights for a trophy or a banner if you want to make it for a banner. But I'm pretty sure they won't want to make it for a banner because they'll want to have the room for the national championship and the Final Four and the Sweet 16 and Elite 8 and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, I feel like you're going to grow the interest in your rivalries and college basketball if you bring this into college basketball rather than having those preseason or pre-conference season tournaments. When you're playing almost nobody, or you are playing somebody, but that somebody follows all 3 games, UConn. Sorry, did I just say that?
No, yeah. I mean, I like the idea. It's hard, again, it's so hard with teams that you have to play twice. I like the idea if you only had to play them once a season. And just because it's like bottom line. Yeah, you lost that trophy, but you split. So it's not. I mean, the bottom line is you still split the games. That's what they really care about in the end of the day.
Yep.
But if they only played once, that does make more of a difference because that's your bragging rights for the entire year now that you. I got you this year. But if you split, it's like, well, we also beat you previously. So it's, you got the trophy, but we split. But no, I do like the idea of bringing like that kind of trophy for these rivalry games. But again, it's hard. Like maybe if they could only just play once. But I do like the idea. I do like that. It'll make the games more exciting, especially when like they're playing harder to win this trophy because it's your rival.
Yeah, because that's just what I'm trying to get at is like if you just have the two games against a team that you aren't used to playing twice a year, yeah, you're gonna grow a rivalry between the two of you instantly. But
Yeah.
if it's to where it's Stanford and Wake Forest, it's like
Oh no, yeah.
what is going on here?
No, yeah.
I don't want to go out to California and then travel to us and like it's like geez.
Yeah, it's just the tough schedules.
Yeah. So, anyways, going into some Red Wings Canes talk since we're in a little bye week. Got
It's not much.
not much to talk about other than I think the Red Wings need to come back from the break winning, like just like
No,
get
so that was literally
get back
mine.
on
That
a
was my
winning
point.
streak.
Yep. Not necessarily. You don't even have to go on a winning streak, but just start strong. Maybe win 2 games. If you lose a game, don't lose back-to-back games.
Yeah. Okay.
It's okay to lose games, but just don't lose back-to-back. Keep the moment like win 2, lose 1, win 2, lose 1, and that's fine. Problem with the Red Wings they have in the second half is they have the number 1 ranked strength of schedule remaining.
Oh boy.
So, I mean, I look at that and at the same time, it's like, I mean, was the first half really that easy too? I mean, like, I feel like we had to play the Rangers when they were good like 5 times in a row. We just played Tampa like 3 times in a row. Yeah, I mean, is there really? That's the beauty about hockey. There's a lot of parity in hockey, so everybody's kind of good. I mean, you only have maybe like 3 or 4 teams right now that aren't that good, but they'll still beat you any other day, like any day. So
Yeah.
I'm not really worried about the strength of schedule. Yeah, I'd really just like to see them continue to stay hot.
I like that. Yeah, I totally agree. And then I feel like the Canes just need to keep things on a positive note. Just keep
Yeah,
it.
just keep winning.
Keep,
You guys
keep
are,
the vibes going, guys.
Yeah, they're loaded. They're looking good. Still in that top spot or one of the top spots. So yeah, just keep it rolling.
And then the Pistons, they're moving on up the standings there in the NBA, moving on up to 6th place, and they're at 28 and 26, finally getting above that .500.
Yeah.
They play.
They're a playoff team so far right now. As of now, they're a playoff team.
Yep, and so they play the Bulls, and it should be a good ending to a pretty good season, especially compared to the last 2 or 3 seasons. Good night.
No, yeah, I agree.
All right. Well, that wraps up this episode of This and That Podcasting Podcast. Next week, we will look back on how we did on our pick top 5 games of the week and how they compare to the actual top 5 games of the week. We will see what the fantasy sports world brings us. I don't know what we're going to do, Kyle. We've already gone through all the positions. Are we going to do kickers?
Yeah.
No.
Kickers and defense.
No.
Kickers and defense. I'll think of something crazy to talk about.
All right. And then tune in to see if we made more money on gambling or not. I'm Alex Bauer.
And I'm Kyle Douglas.
Y'all have a good rest of your day. Have a good week. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Nice.
Sweet. Damn, I gotta fucking piss.
All right. Ooh. Doof.